All right, good afternoon, folks. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. Purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if probable cause exists for those charges. Probable cause simply means it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me this afternoon, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office can prove the charges against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this afternoon. That is your bail or your bond. In most cases, you've got a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this afternoon. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you advise that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there are 2 assistant state attorneys in the courtroom with me today. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. You solemnly swear, affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When I call your name, please come forward to the podium. Mr. Clinton, you want to come over here? All right, Chris, what's your date of birth?
6/9/89, sir.
And, okay. This is probable cause arrest for 2 counts of violation of probation. Has he been upstairs already?
Not yet.
Not yet. And that's where he's headed?
Yes.
Okay. So Chris, the bond is no bond right now. We're going to send you right upstairs to see Judge Scaglione, and he will determine what happens next. Did you want to be represented by the public defender?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll appoint the PD, and they'll take you upstairs.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Good luck.
Yeah, just go back to control for now.
All right. Okay. Claudia Baker. Ms. Baker, what's your date of birth?
12/9/90.
Ms. Baker, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel, which is like the public defender.
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
Claudia, I have an address for you on Hawthorne Road in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you lived there?
4 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes.
What do you do?
I work at the Point Hospital.
Okay. And you live with Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Okay. Claudia, I'm going to set your bond at $100, but a condition of that bond is that you'll have no contact with Mr. Wright while this charge is pending. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. You don't contact him through a third party. You don't go where he lives. You don't go where he works. You don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contacted him, we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear his voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand, hang on a second, you need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That's not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. He may tell them he's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or your lawyer or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped and you should not have contact. In addition, I've got to hold you today up until 4 p.m., so if you want to serve with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only would you get your bond revoked here, but you get new charges for violating the injunction. As far as that address on Hawthorne goes, as long as he stays there, you'll have to stay somewhere else While this charge is pending. You can go by one time to pick up your clothes, your toothbrush, whatever you need. But in order to do that, you've got to contact the sheriff's office first. They'd meet you there with a deputy who would stand by while you picked up your things and got going where you're going. Looks like you have children together.
Yeah.
The issue with children, of course, is I'm not telling you can't have contact with your kids. I'm telling you that you can't have contact with him. And that means you can't have contact with him to arrange contact with your kids. So I don't know if there's someone else in your life that can do that for you. But certainly if that can be done without contacting Mr. Wright, you may have contact. I'll have you back in court on September 6th. Make sure that you contact the public defender when you get out. Claudia, do you have any other questions?
No.
Very good. Thank you. Sarah Harsher. Afternoon, Sarah. What's your date of birth?
1692.
Sarah, you got a charge of retail theft. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State.
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
All right. And Sarah, I have an address for you on West Yulee Drive in Homosassa. Is that where you live?
No.
Okay. Where do you live?
4398 South Songbird Drive.
In Lecanto.
Lecanto.
Okay. How long have you lived there?
Going on 2 years?
You have a job these days?
No.
How long has it been since you worked?
6 months?
Set a bond of $500. I'm going to have you back in court on the 6th of September. Very important that you contact the public defender when you get out, all right? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Laura Mager? Afternoon, what's your date of birth?
4/11/84.
Well, you're here on a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for 2 charges, a grand theft and a petty theft. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State.
No prior criminal history, Your Honor.
Okay, and clerk friends, we're still moving these to the 11th as far as we know. Is that? Yes. Okay. Okay. I understand there was some blowback about that upstairs. So. Okay. Laura, where have you been staying lately? You been staying with friends or living outdoors? What's going on?
Outdoors.
Okay.
Outdoors because I'm from Tennessee, so ever since my boyfriend got arrested for the same charge, he's in St. Johns County.
Okay.
He's taken the charge, and he had court today over it.
Okay. How long you been in Florida?
4 weeks.
Okay. And you have a job these days?
We're musicians. I'm a musician.
Okay. Set your bond on the GTA, the Grand Theft Auto at 500. I'll ROR you on the petty theft. You need to be back in court on the 11th of September. Very important when you get out that you contact the public defender, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Charles Alley? Afternoon, sir. Date of birth?
6/19/1981, sir.
So this afternoon we have another grand theft, a contributing, a tampering, a witness tampering, and a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. There's probable cause for all those charges. Did we appoint a public defender on the early cases, Charles?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll appoint them on these. The bond on the VOP obviously is going to be no bond. So I'm going to leave the bonds on the other charges per the schedule. That's $5,000 on the tampering, $5,000 on the GTA, and $1,000 on the contributing. And we'll send these all. Are all his cases on September 3rd now, or?
No, sir. They were set for the 11th.
Yes, we're going to move everything to the
But
11th.
you guys are going to consolidate it to the 11th.
Yes, as well as there's 2 co-defendants that, because of this VOP now that's going back to Judge Toner,
So I can put these on the 11th.
That's fine, Your Honor. I'll
All right,
take
so
the
Charles, we're gonna put these to the 11th, and, we're working to make sure that everything is on the same date, okay?
Yes, sir. And Judge, can I have contact with my wife?
Your Honor, I was actually going to ask for no contact. She is the victim and the witness tampering.
Okay.
BC affidavit, that's Michelle Alley. That is the mother of Joshua Barnes.
Okay, for now, Charles, I'm gonna order you not to have contact with your wife. That'll be another issue that you're gonna wanna bring up when you get in front of the judge who's actually handling your cases, about that, so that they can discuss that. I'm just
Your
giving
Honor,
you the information, so.
I
The
apologize,
answer
sir.
is no. The answer is no. We're not having a discussion. You asked, I said no. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That's it, you're good.
Your Honor, just to be clear, we're not doing anything with the other cases.
No, you're
No,
not.
I will
No,
contact
Deanna
the
can
judicial
handle it.
assistant.
All right, just making sure.
So these I all set for the 11th, and where's the PD? Danny Betancourt? Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
12474.
Said you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Toner. He found probable cause for violation of probation. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your
I'll
Honor.
appoint the PD. Bond on that warrant is no bond. I can't change it. We'll send you back to see Judge Toner on the 11th of September. The PD will come see you before then, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Michael Cups. Incoming. Afternoon, Mr. Cups. What's your date of birth?
12283.
Mr. Cups, I have 2 counts of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State with you, Johnny.
2002 California controlled substance possession of paraphernalia with no disposition, no other history, Your Honor.
And Michael, I've got an address for you on Hartford Heights Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 3 years.
All right. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir. I'm an account manager for Pepsi.
Okay. And Laura and Heather live at that same address?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You set your bond at $100 on each charge. That's a total of 2. Condition, however, is that you'll not have contact with either of them while this charge is pending. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I also have to hold you until 4 p.m. on both cases, so if either of them wanted to serve you with a civil injunction, we'd know where to find you. When you get out, you may go by Hartford Heights one time to collect your things, but you must contact the sheriff's office first. I'll have you back in court on September 6th. Very important that you contact the PD when you get out, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Justin Gill.
Yes, sir.
Justin, what's your date of birth?
7/31/94, Your Honor.
Justin, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Rupi. Apparently you failed to appear in her court back in July on a charge of possession of paraphernalia. Mr. Larison, is this something he can resolve today?
Yes, Your Honor. Time served.
Justin, if you want to resolve this case today, you can plead no contest to the charge. If you do that, I will sentence you to 2 days, 1 day in the county jail. Credit 1 day served. I decide to find a court cost, and then this case would be over. You want to do that, or you want to bond out and talk to a lawyer?
I'd go ahead and settle with it, sir.
Say it again?
Go ahead and settle, sir.
All right, very good. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, the right to have a lawyer represent you. But you want to give up those rights so we can resolve this case today?
Yes, sir.
In case number 19 CT 2300, as to the charge of possessed paraphernalia, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest, Your
I'll
Honor.
accept that plea, find it was freely and voluntarily made. I will adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 1 day in the county jail, credit 1 day served. Finding court cost is $568, your cost of incarceration. If that takes care of it, Justin, if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. Terry Glass. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
7/25/1958.
Terry, I've got two charges today. I've got an armed burglary with dwelling and contributing to the delinquency. There's probable cause for those charges. As for those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
Your Honor, he already has some cases that I think he was here for last week that may have gone to Judge Merritt's. Which document will be?
He's got some stuff on the 9-3 docket, and he's got a CT case on 9-4.
Yeah, so he's one of the ones we'll move to 9/11 as well because he's co-defendants with Mr. Allen.
So do you want me to send this one to 9-11?
Can we just leave it on 9/11? That'll help. And then I was going to ask for no contact with Mr. Joshua Barnes again, as he is the minor in this case as well.
Okay. All right, and Terry, I have an address for you on Critter Lane. Is that where you live?
Yeah, so far, yes, sir.
All right. How long have you been there?
Almost a year.
Do you have a job these days?
Was working, yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm going to leave the bond on the burglary at the 15, 1,000 on the contributing. That's a total of 16. Condition of that bond is that you'll have no contact with Joshua Barnes. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
You understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on September 11th. If you're able to bond out, it's very important that you contact the PD. Well, you're not. You're on a no bond on the Dwellis. So you'll be back on the 11th. PD will come see you before then.
Okay.
Thank you. Travis Harsher. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
11/6/84.
Travis, I got 4 charges today: possession of methamphetamine, possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a retail theft. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point to PD. State what you got.
Adjudication withheld in 2013 for sale of controlled substance, Schedule 2, and no other history, Your Honor.
And Travis, you're on that same address in Lecanto, is that right?
Yeah.
How long have
Yes,
you been
sir.
there?
It's about 2 years.
You have a job these days?
I scrap metal, but I was looking to get a job this weekend. I was going to have an interview.
Okay. We set your bond at 1,000 on each of the 4 counts. That's a total of 4,000. I'll have you back in court on the 11th of September. Very important to contact the public defender if you get out. All right?
Okay.
Thank you.
Judge, for clarification, the way they got these set up, are these co-defendants?
Yes, the Harshers are on the retail theft.
Oh, all right. That's just,
It's the same theft. The other stuff is just him.
all right. Thanks.
Louis Labetti. Good afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
November 23rd, 1958.
All right, sir, you're here on a warrant out of Citrus County. It was signed by Judge Howard. He found probable cause for 1 count of worthless check. He set a bond of $1,500. I can't change that. If you're able to post that bond, you can get out of jail here, go up to Citrus County, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post that bond, we'll notify them right away. I'll give Citrus 5 days to come get you. Doesn't take 5 with Citrus, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me and I'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Shane Manson. Afternoon, sir. What's your date of birth?
6/8/87.
Shane, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Toner. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on 2 counts: possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, were you represented by the public defender?
Yes.
It was actually Mr. Sultan from Regional College.
What I'm not sure about is I have my papers here that said I was supposed to be in court this coming Monday.
Well, my guess is, as is often the case, you got 2 dates for getting set for trial, and you pick the later one and not the earlier one. But that is an issue that you can sort out in front of Judge Toner when you get there. I'm going to hold you without bond till you go see him on the 11th of September. They may have told you the 13th. The right date is the 11th. Counsel will come see you before you go to court again, all right?
I was saying the 19th, actually.
Brother, we're not having this discussion. You're going to talk to Judge Toner on the 11th. Have a seat. Willie Mathis. Afternoon again, Willie. Date of birth?
11/22/1973.
All right, Willie. Now I've got 2 counts of dealing in stolen property. There's probable cause for those charges. I think we appointed a public defender for you, right?
Yes.
So I can appoint the public defender on these. Now, these are all coming back 820. Is that?
They should be 9/11. I mean, he's the code of, I don't know why it would come out.
Well, because he had some other stuff. Right now he's got 3
Oh, it's
charges.
because of that transport order that got him here
Yes,
yesterday. They
I
probably did it for 820 just
Yep.
to get him here.
Right.
So if you want to put it there,
We'll put them there. They are. The
Let's have
other 3 are
somebody
there
over
now.
9/11.
I'll put them on. I'll put these on 820 with these other ones, and
Okay.
you guys can coordinate it later. So I'm going to leave the bonds on these at 5,000 each. We'll leave these on August 20 where your other stuff is until we get all these cases consolidated. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Gaynor. Afternoon, sir.
Yes,
What's
sir.
your date of birth?
1766.
Michael, you're here on a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently you failed to appear in his court on the 13th of August on a charge of aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. Did you have the public defender on that charge?
Yes, sir.
I'll continue the appointment of the public defender. Apparently your case is already set in front of Judge Merritt on the 6th of September. Your bond is no bond, and the PD will come see you before that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Jay, you got anything left?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you.